I want to tell you what happens after you reach 100,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel. I reached that goal about 3 months ago, and it was a goal I've had for quite a while, so I was proud when I got there, but I want to explain what happened next, because if it's a goal that you have, I think it might be helpful to know what you can expect. First of all, I made this out to be a bigger deal than I needed to. It was a goal that I had, and I was proud, and it was good. It was looking obvious as to when it was going to happen. I was about to go away, and I really wanted it to happen before I went away, so that I could capture it in a live stream. I live stream every week, and I wanted to actually capture the moment that I rolled over to 100,000 during a live. So I went live, I think, 3 times in 1 week, and the third time, it was Saturday, February 7th. I went live when I was at 99,835. So I was 165 subs away. And that was that live stream was the most, I guess my most successful, or had the largest peak audience that I've ever had in a live stream. It was over 300 people were there, and it was fun. But what happened right after that caught me by surprise. So I stopped that live stream 3 hours and 45 minutes. So that was a pretty long live stream. And at the time, I was at 100,037 subscribers. Within an hour of stopping that live stream, I fell down to 99,982. I lost 55 subscribers. So what I think happened was a lot of people were wanting to be that 100,000th subscriber, thinking maybe that it might mean something, but honestly, like, I have no way of knowing who that might have been. And in retrospect, actually, a friend of mine, Ty, pointed this out to me. So that means, Rob, you actually hit 100,000 subscribers twice in one day. Yes, I did. Because then by the end of that day, it was back up to 100,019. Yeah, so it happened twice that day. But I was very surprised at how so many people left after the live stream ended. Almost immediately after that, like on that same day, February 7th, I got an email notification from vidIQ. So I have the vidIQ Chrome extension installed, and as part of that, you get email notifications when you reach certain milestones, like 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 subscribers, and so on. When you reach a milestone on the number of videos you've uploaded, periodically you'll get these emails. I want to mention today's sponsor, Nexus Clips. If you're a content creator and you're only posting long-form videos, you're leaving a lot of potential attention on the table. A lot of people discover creators today through short clips on Shorts, TikTok, or Reels, but keeping up with that can feel overwhelming. That's why I'm using Nexus Clips. It takes my long videos, finds the best moments, reframes them vertically, and adds animated subtitles automatically, which matters because a lot of people watch short-form content without sound. It honestly removes the friction of clipping content, so sharing short-form content daily actually becomes doable. Keep focusing your time on your long-form videos and use Nexus Clips for short-form. If your content is already good, this is one of the best ways to grow your personal brand. Try Nexus Clips today. Now let's get back to the video. So I got the email about the 100,000 subscribers from vidIQ. That was my first notification. I didn't get any such notification from YouTube, but it was 11 days later, on the 18th of February, I got an email from Society Awards. And it looked a little suspicious to me, like, who's Society Awards? I didn't know. So my mistake. It was actually YouTube creators who sent that email. So yes, they did reach out, but there was a link in that email to societyawards.com, which I wasn't familiar with, so I still wasn't sure what to do with that. Anyways, continue on with the video. But in the email, it basically said you now have to order your play button. So for those who don't know, when you reach 100,000 subscribers, you get a silver play button from YouTube as basically an acknowledgement of reaching that milestone. But what I didn't know is you had to order it. And furthermore, I wasn't aware of Society Awards. So I was skeptical when I saw that email. I didn't know if it was even legit. I didn't want to click a link in it. So I plugged it into ChatGPT and I asked, like, what's this all about? Is this legitimate? And what I've come to find out was, yes, it was. That's the company that is tasked with sending out the play buttons. And you do have to order it. So I had to order it. It doesn't cost anything, but I had to place the order. Now, what I didn't know was that if I wanted to, I could order more. Okay, like let's say you run a YouTube channel and you have several people on your team that contribute. Maybe everybody on your team wants one of these play buttons in their office, for example, and if so, you can order additional ones. Now they would cost, and I can't remember what the cost was. If you know, maybe you could leave a comment down below so that other people know, but yeah, I only wanted the one. So once I knew that was legit, I ordered that play button and it arrived 9 days later. All right, it was shipped from Oklahoma and it arrived to me here in Canada, so international, in 9 days. If you're in the US, then presumably you would get that sooner. I actually wasn't home when it arrived. I was out of the country, so I asked my daughter to just leave it on my chair and don't open it, because I wanted to open it during a live stream when I got back. In the month or two leading up to 100,000, I was pulling in anywhere from 100 to 200, sometimes more, new subscribers every day. And that was exciting. That was higher than it had been normally. But what happened immediately afterwards was that went down. Not only the new subscribers, but the views as well. Daily views went down. But then in April, everything went back up. But there was a reason for that. But first, let's talk about new opportunities. Did any new opportunities come my way as a result of this? Not really. You know, if we talk about brand sponsorships, I started to get those emails by companies interested in sponsoring my videos when I was around 15 or 20,000 subscribers. And I didn't really take anybody, well, I didn't take anybody up on any of those until I was over 40,000. But from then, so for the last year or so, I would say I regularly get those types of emails. A lot of them are spam. Some of them are probably scam attempts. So I don't do a lot with many of those, but I do some brand deals, and those opportunities are awesome. But I wouldn't say that reaching 100,000 subscribers affected that in any way, not in any measurable way anyways. What about revenue? Well, no, that didn't really change either. So like revenue, the revenue that you earn from AdSense is pretty much directly proportional to how many views you get, more so than the subscribers you have. Subscribers really don't matter. The more subscribers you have might give you an increased reach when you first reach or release new videos, but it does not affect your bottom line. Revenue is proportional, directly proportional to the views that you get. And since my views were actually down in February and March, my revenue was down too. Then in April, I had a video go viral in a way that I had not seen before. Far more viral than my first viral video, which was almost 2 years ago, and really kicked off my channel. But in April, I had a video where I talked about my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and it took off. At one point, it got up to almost 6,000 views an hour, and it was doing this for many days. It's now got over 500,000 views in only a month. Did that have anything to do with reaching 100,000 subscribers? I don't think so. But you know, again, the more subscribers that you have, whenever you come out with a new video, the more reach that video may have. The larger the test samples may be that YouTube is testing your video with. And based on how well it does with those test samples, that will dictate how far YouTube is going to go in promoting that video. Not promoting, but giving out impressions, basically. One thing I've noticed, and this is not a hard change from reaching that milestone, but the more subscribers you get, the less variation there tends to be when you release a new one. Okay, so when channels first start, I feel like, you know, let's say your norm is 50 views for a new video and maybe you have 100 subscribers, right? But then if you have one video do really well, maybe it gets 1,000 views, right? Maybe 5,000, maybe 10,000, maybe more. So there's a lot of variation there, okay? The more, what I've noticed is the more subscribers I have, the less variation there is. The band tends to narrow. There's a larger test group that gets tested on my new videos. So I do tend to get a lot more views now than I did 2 years ago. Anywhere from, let's say, 200 to 300 views in the first hour, up to 700, and then maybe, you know, most of my videos now top out at maybe 5,000 to 10,000 views, with the odd one doing a little bit better. And then, of course, I had that viral one. But I guess what I'm trying to say is the baseline increases, right? Instead of the 50 views being the norm, maybe 2,000 views becomes the norm. And then if you have a breakout video, it goes up beyond that. I guess views are a little more consistent in their variability. Let's talk about workload. How has my workload changed? It hasn't changed at all. Nothing has changed in that respect. So it doesn't matter whether you have 0 subscribers or 100,000 or 1 million. You can choose to do how much YouTube you want or how little you want, right? Lately, I've been choosing to spend more time with my mentorship groups, right? The coaching that I do. So it's not just a YouTube channel to me anymore. It started out that way, but now I've got some other income streams, other businesses kind of attached to it. So I'm not just reliant on the AdSense revenue. My workload is what I choose to make it. If I wanted to just do YouTube and not do the coaching, I could probably do this. I could probably, you know, release 2 videos a week and only maybe work 10 hours a week or less, but I would get bored. So no, the workload hasn't changed. It's been the same busyness, I guess, since the beginning. So in summary, not a lot changed by reaching that milestone, except for the optics, right? People see that you're at 100,000 subscribers now. Brands, potential brands and companies and people that may want to work with you see that as well. So maybe that's a good thing. But as far as revenue goes, the amount of work you have to put in, and also the views that you get, none of that is even really affected by the number of subscribers that you have. Maybe a little more consistency, that'd be about it. So anyways, I hope you found this helpful, especially the part about having to order your own play button. I thought that was odd, but I guess it makes sense. That's all I got. I hope you found this helpful, and if that is a goal of yours, I wish you all the best. Go for it, you can do it, and I'll see you in the next video.